Hi, I'm Erica, one of the writers for the Plum Deluxe tea blog, and I am going to show you 2 ways to make an alcoholic Thai iced tea. So the first is basically just Thai tea with a splash of booze in there, and the second is a kind of Thai tea inspired cocktail. They're both super easy to make, absolutely delicious, and I'm very excited about both of them that I get to drink later today. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to need is your tea. So for that, you can use either a Thai tea mix, or you can choose any tea that has kind of a similar flavor profile. So you're going to be looking for a black tea that has things like cardamom, anise, clove, maybe cinnamon. You'll notice there's a lot of overlap with classic chai spices. So if you want to just use your favorite chai, it's going to be delicious in this. I am using Vanilla Latte Tea. That is a black tea with vanilla and cardamom, and I think it's amazing in both of the cocktails. For prepping the tea, you can either cold brew, since it is an iced drink, or you can just brew a really nice strong pot of tea, cup of tea, however kind of size batch you're making, and then dilute it pretty quickly with just a handful of ice cubes, and that'll bring it down to temperature. But that will dilute the tea, so make sure that it's a nice strong cup to begin with. And then once you have your tea, you just need to choose your alcohol. Since I'm using this vanilla tea, I am going with a vanilla vodka to kind of enhance those flavors. If you're not a vodka fan, or you just want to maybe play up the spices instead, you might try a spiced rum. Whatever you do, just make sure that you're using an alcohol that you know you like. Same with the tea, you want to use a tea you know you like. Since these are both drinks with so few ingredients, you just want to make sure that you like what you are putting into it, because everything that you use will strongly affect the final flavor. So in experimenting for this, tried a cardamom vodka that at first I was really excited about in concept, because I thought cardamom tea, cardamom vodka, what a nice combo. It was a great idea, terrible vodka. So just make sure that whatever you're using, you know you will want to drink it in the end. But once you have your tea and you have your alcohol, it's really a ridiculously simple process. We're just going to fill a glass with some ice. Crushed is a little more traditional, but you can obviously use ice cubes as well. So you've got your ice, you've got your alcohol. You're going to use 1 part booze to 2 parts tea. And then the final step, it's really very, very simple, is you're just going to put in a nice gloop of sweetened condensed milk. This is kind of the hallmark of Thai tea. You can measure it out. I measured it previously. It was about, I would say maybe like 1/2 to 1 part of the sweetened condensed milk, depending on how sweet you like your beverages. So you just give that a nice stir until that is dissolved. Thai tea is often made with additional sugar, so if you like that really, really sweet Thai tea flavor, then feel free to add in a teaspoon or so of sugar or your sweetener of choice. Maybe give it a sip first to see if it needs it, and then just kind of make it your own. Once that sweetened condensed milk is dissolved, that's really all there is to it. I like to sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon over the top. If I had cardamom, I would probably do that as well. I just can't find mine, but if you have it, toss it in, it'll go nicely. And then, oh my gosh, it's really good. And that's all there is to it. You just combine your tea with your alcohol, you put in your sweetened condensed milk. I can't even tell you. I would like to keep drinking this, but I need to make a second cocktail, so I'm just gonna set that aside for later and move on to the next. So this one is a whiskey-based cocktail, which felt a little counterintuitive to me with how sweet a Thai tea is at first, but when I tried it, I can't wait to make this a lot. It can be just as simple as the first one, where you just combine your ingredients and strain it into your glass and you're done, but I'm going to show you a couple extra little steps to just sort of zazz up the flavors if you would like. So the first thing I'm going to do is a sugar rim. Again, whiskey and sugar rim is a little counterintuitive, but because of the sweetness of that sweetened condensed milk, it just goes in just the most beautiful way. You just have to try it because I can't explain. So a sugar rim, if you've never done one before, is really easy, and it's a really simple way to like fancy up your cocktails with putting in very, very little effort. So what I have here is just a plate with a circle of sweetened condensed milk that's the same diameter as my rim, and I'm just gonna squish it in there. You can use anything that will moisten the rim and make it nice and sticky enough to pick up that sugar, but because there's sweetened condensed milk in the cocktail, I thought, why not? And it really is just an amazingly indulgent and decadent kind of situation. So I've got my coated rim, and then on another plate I just have a sugar mix, but I also sprinkled in some cinnamon, just again to play up those lovely flavors in the tea. So you've got your beautifully sugared rim. And then if you happen to have any sort of fun flavored bitters lying around, that is a fun way to kind of add a little bit of complexity to your thing. So I'm just gonna splash in a few drops. I happen to have a cardamom bitters that I'm very excited about. And so that is what I'm using today. But if you have like a cocoa bitters, or if you don't love the sugar rim, but you like a twist with your whiskey, you can leave out the sugar rim, garnish with a twist at the end, and maybe toss in a little bit of like a blood orange bitters. Totally easy to skip this step, but if you have it, it does add a fun little extra something to the cocktail. And it already smells so good. Cardamom does that, you know. So just swirl it around so it's nicely coating the bowl of your glass, and then it's gonna be very much like we did before. I'm gonna put some ice in a cocktail shaker. This is another one that you can stir. I just like the way that having it shaken, not stirred, doesn't dilute the final product. It's kind of a lot of ice. We don't need that much. Okay, so we have our ice. We're gonna take our whiskey, same ratios. It is 1 part whiskey to 2 parts tea. And then that nice big gloop of sweetened condensed milk. All right. Ooh. It is very gloopy, but it's so worth it. It's so delicious. If there's anybody who does not do dairy or is vegan or any combination of those things, you can also substitute with coconut cream. It does give it that nice creaminess, but it is going to obviously affect the final flavor. And also you might want to add a little bit more sweetener because you're not going to have that big punch of sugar from the sweetened condensed milk. So for this, you just shake it up until it's nice and cold, and you want to maybe shake it a little bit longer so that you know that all of the sweetened condensed milk is definitely dissolved. I am very excited for winter festivities to come up because I think I will be making this drink a lot. So, once it's shaken, you just strain it out. And again, if you skip the sugar rim, you can season with a little bit of cinnamon, maybe some cardamom if you've got it, cloves, kind of whatever you might want to pull out in the tea. And then that's really it. Oh, you can also garnish with a cinnamon stick. It's very lovely. I didn't bring one down, but it aesthetically works very well. You guys have to make these. They're just so good. So if you do decide to make them, go ahead and share with us on social media at Plum Deluxe. We would love to see it. We'd love to know what you think. But I have some work to do now to go take care of these cocktails, so I'm gonna go do that. But enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you next time. Thank you. Cheers.